Dear brothers and sisters, today we are continuing the book reading of Babuji Maharaj, The Voice Real, chapter My Pain. I am reminded of the words of Swami Vivekananda saying, the human form, longing for moksha and association with an elevated soul, is a difficult job to secure. It is no doubt exactly so. There are, of course, very few who really crave for moksha or any higher aim. But the longing of the type which may amount to intense craving is still more difficult and rare too. But even intense craving for the goal may not alone be of much avail unless one has got closely attached to one of the highly elevated souls. Now, suppose this also is there, even then one thing remains wanting therein, and that is the abhyas or the practice. Thus, all these factors having come together may alone be helpful in the realization of the final object. This is the well considered opinion of all the great saints. Here, Babuji Maharaj is recollecting the words of Swami Vivekananda saying, that is, the human form longing for moksha and association with an elevated soul is a difficult job to secure. That means one might have taken births in several forms like animals, birds, insects, etc. since several births, but taking birth as human being is God's gift, or it's a boon, we can say. In Kannada language, there is a poem called as Dasarapada, written by Purandara Dasa. ಮಾನವ ಜನ್ಮ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಅದ ಆಣಿ ಮಾಡಲು ಬೇಡಿ ಹುಚ್ಚಪ್ಪಗಳಿರ. It means taking birth in human form is really a great happening, and never waste your life for unnecessary things. Even if luckily this human form is bestowed by God, how many of us are having the craving to attain moksha, the salvation? Rarely we can say or we can see such people on this earth, isn't it? If suppose one has that intense craving, but getting the association of such great master who can take one up to that level is very important, isn't it? Now, if suppose by the grace of God one has taken birth in human form, having the craving to achieve the goal under the guidance of capable master, still there is a need of one thing, that is the sincere and dedicated abhyas or spiritual practice. So, all these factors coming together helps in realizing the goal of human life, and this is the well considered opinion of all the great saints. Now, let us read further. There is yet another difficulty with me. I am by nature overindulgent and highly susceptible to external pressure, with the result that I am not able to reject requests for favor or help if they are not otherwise objectionable in any way. This may be counted as one of my defects, but I have my own reasons for it, which I do not like to divulge, though at the bottom of my heart I wish you all to have a taste of it yourself. Let this defect therefore be mine and remain confined to me alone. As a matter of fact, whatever one wants of me in connection with his spiritual enterprise, I feel inwardly induced to do my best for it and impart to him what he desires. For example, most of the people coming to me seem to be eager to have peace. So, in compliance with their wishes, I do transmit to them accordingly. I am thus compelled to give them doses of peace, withholding the pursuance of the real objective, which is thus considerably delayed. I cannot therefore go on freely with their spiritual training on strictly spiritual lines. Here, Babuji Maharaj is expressing himself as overindulgent, that is, merciful and highly sensitive to external pressure, that is, the demands of the people or wishes of the Abhyasis, as a result of which he is unable to say no to any one of the requests of Abhyasis and always want to fulfill their needs, irrespective of materialistic or spiritual. He is telling that it may be counted as his defect and he has his own reasons for it, which he do not want to disclose. But still, at the bottom of his heart, he wishes all of us to taste that nectar of ultimate reality. So, he is restricting this defect to be within him. In fact, regarding spirituality, if anybody aspires for any state of condition, then Babuji Maharaj is always ready to help us all and make us to reach up to that level. For example, the people who go to Babuji Maharaj aspires for peace. According to their wish, Babuji Maharaj transmit them that condition. Due to this, their progress in achieving the goal will be delayed. Because first Babuji has to give the pills of peace as desired by them, and then further condition of progress, isn't it? So, Babuji is not having free hand to train the Abhyasis strictly on spiritual lines. So, dear brethren, now we have to think about it, whether to aspire for peace and get our spiritual progress, or delayed, or give freedom to master to do his work without any obstructions. It is left to our decision and discretion. Let us read further. During my leisure hours, I remain mostly busy with cleaning the Abhyasis under my training in order to develop in them the remembrance of God all through. And this service is for me a substitute for God's worship, hence my foremost duty. But that is a very tedious job and requires quite a long time, which might perhaps exhaust the patience of the Abhyasi. As a general rule, one does not feel much interested in meditation when the cleaning process is being effected, or when impressions and bondages are being loosened, which is in fact the only effective course and one greatly helpful to his sacred cause. But while I proceed on thus, I have to make allowance for his craving for peace and satisfaction as well, which he wishes for and values most. For this reason, when he does not feel interested in meditation while receiving this type of transmission from me, he thinks it to be of no avail and consequently drops off from satsang. The proper course should have been that after having judged fully the capability of the teacher and finding him quite up to the mark, he should trust him and follow him, leaving everything to him. He should not dictate terms for the ways and lines for his spiritual training, because the teacher alone can understand what is best for the Abhyasi. Here, Babuji Maharaj is telling that further during his leisure hours, he will be busy in cleaning Abhyasis who are under his training, to develop remembrance of God in them. Just check what many people do during their leisure hours. Usually, they will take shelter of one or the other means of entertainment instead of remembering God, isn't it? See, this is the difference between master and the Abhyasis. If an Abhyasi utilizes his leisure time in the remembrance of God, it is the greatest help what he or she or we are doing for ourselves and Babuji Maharaj as well, and thus reducing his labor of bringing us up to that state, isn't it? Sometimes Abhyasis will not get interest during meditation. When the process of cleaning was set in by Babuji Maharaj, this many Abhyasis might have experienced or might have come across, and they complain that the meditation was not good or pleasing or properly happening. This is mainly because Babuji Maharaj is doing our internal cleaning. This point should be noted by each and every Abhyasi. Due to this, the Abhyasis may even lose their interest in doing meditation. Here, we should have little patience to tolerate this spiritual process of cleaning and the training of Babuji Maharaj, which enables us to march ahead in our journey with great speed, because Babuji is making shattered all our bondages and impressions. Once we judge the capability of our master, then we should trust him, should have faith in him, and simply follow him, bidding farewell to all our likes and dislikes and surrendering all our belongings at his lotus feet. And we should never dictate our terms of spiritual progress, because the Guru and Guru alone is capable to understand what is the best suited for an Abhyasi. Here, I would like to give you an example. When we fall sick, we go to a doctor. He prescribes some medicines or injections or surgery depending upon the condition of the patient, isn't it? There can we say to him, "Doctor, don't give us bitter pills, give us sweet one." No. Or can we request him not to do injection because it pains us much? No. isn't it? To get ourselves cured, we should have faith in Doctor and obey him. Similarly, our Master in our spiritual progress. So, dear brethren, keeping all these aspects in our heart, we should do our sadhana or spiritual practice and give freedom to Master to work upon us. With this, I conclude today's satsang, and let us know more aspects in the forthcoming satsang. Till then, I take leave. Pranams. Namaste.